Ladies and gentlemen, we will be doing presentation based on comparative research, and our study topic is gender differences and academic stress of students in music prize. And the presenter will be myself, Laramie de la Peña, Shin Milianes, Hinlin Lozano, Mercury Serrano, Stephanie Perdegues, Genesis Dingding, Melvin Estramos, Desiree Babon, and Jacqueline Atizon. In this modern world, it is said to be a world of achievement, but it is also a world of stress. Stress experienced by the students is normal, but when stress is severe or prolonged, it can affect their academic performance and can interfere with the students' ability to participate in class. Senior high school students in UC campus face high levels of pressure and academic stress, especially in this new normal distance learning. Female students in UC campus are the most likely the leaders in group activities because they are more focused on it and they are more stressed. In passing activities, women spend more time creating activities and do their tasks creatively. Females are also sensitive, so they worry that their academic results will not meet their expectations. Unlike men, they do not have too much academic stress because they have mobile games that they care about. And some male students are happy-go-lucky students, and if ever they get low scores, they are less affected. This current study focuses on gender differences and academic stress of grade 12 senior high school. The purpose of this study is to know and to identify the gender differences of academic stress in grade 12. By the end of the study, the readers would know what genders having more academic stress level.
I am Shin Dibilianis and I will tackle about theoretical background. This study is anchored in Hans Selye's systematic stress theory, supported by Richard Lazarus and Susan Folksman's transactional stress theory and Sandra Bem's gender schema theory. Systematic stress theory by Hans Selye, 1976, defined as an uncertain biological reaction to any demands of changes which also has a certain pattern of reaction of systematic stress. General adaptation syndrome or GAS, which has three stages: the alarm stage, the resistance stage, and the exhaustion stage. According to Selye's three stages, alarm stage happens when an organism encounters or experiences a threat. It increases the adrenaline discharge, which the resistance stage happens. The three stages can also be applied to academic stress as well. When students encounter or experience certain academic activities that exist at active capabilities. However, the level of stress and how the body reacts and copes can be different in both genders due to biological differences in hormonal systems between male and females. The second theory is the psychological stress by Richard Lazarus and Susan Folkman in 1984, which it refers to the relationship with the environment that the individual appraises as significant for his or her well-being, in which demands tasks or exist available coping resources. Only cognitive appraisal can only be applied in this study. The concept of appraisal is a key factor understanding for stress-relevant transaction. This concept is based on the idea that the emotional processes, including stress, are dependent on actual expectancies that a person manifests with regard to the significance and outcome of a specific encounter. An example of this is when school projects, activities, and other requirements were given to an individual with different gender at all once with the same duty. This situation will tend to put the students in panic and unable to understand the task, causing them to experience academic stress. For this reason, the theory's concept explains the individual's different inequality, intensity, and duration of an illicit emotion in environment that are objectively equal for different individuals. Another supporting theory is the gender schema theory by Sandra Bem in 1981. This theory proposes that individuals, socially identified as male and females, tend to occupy different square roles within social structure and tend to be judged against divergent expectations on how they ought to behave. According to Bem, children learn about male and female roles from the culture in which they live. Children adjust their behavior to align with gender norms. Gender schemes have an impact on attitude, belief, and psychological that directed to gender-appropriate behavior. Gender roles also speak to diversion of household, labor, job segregation, and gender difference in status and authority. In school, male students are usually the ones to do the work of helping teachers, especially hard tasks. With this reason of having these gender norms and stereotypes, this affects the psychological condition of an individual. This study aims to determine the comparative between gender difference academic stress level of senior high school grade 12 students of University of Cebu Pride in school year 2020 to 2021. Specifically, it seeks to answer the following question. First question is, what is the gender frequency of the respondents? The second is, what is the male respondents' level of academic stress in terms of stress from teachers, stress from results, stress from tests, studying in groups tests, peer stress, time management stress, and self-inflicted stress? The third question is, what is the female respondents' level of academic stress in terms of stress from teachers, stress from results, stress from tests, studying in group stress, peer stress, 5. Time management stress and self-inflicted stress. The fourth question is there a significant difference between male and female academic stress level?
Significance of the study. The result of the study will be of great benefit of the following. Students. The findings of the study will give great benefit of the grade 12 senior high school department. They will have knowledge on what is academic stress. And they would also know how it affects their development in the classroom. At the end of the study, they will be able to identify the differences between male and female students' academic stress. For the parents, they will be able to know their child's behavior and have preventive measures in order to help their children. They would also know why the children are stressed. For the teachers, they would be able to know the students' behavior and health. This could also give more knowledge to those teachers who are still new to teaching profession. It is the responsibility of the school guidance counselors to help the students focus on their studies and also to keep track of the students' health because the students is under their guidance. So the findings of the study are important to school guidance counselors in order for them to pay more attention to the students who are having a hard time at school. With the recommendations, you would be able to know how to deal with the students' academic stress. This study would also benefit future researchers. This will help support future researchers concerning about male and female students' differences on academic stress. This study can be their basis that can help them have a strong foundation. Definition of terms. Gender differences are variants between male and females that are based on biological adaptations that are the same for both sexes. It is how individuals understand their identities being a man or woman. Academic stress is defined as the body's response to academic-related demands that exceed adaptive capabilities of the students. It is the mental and physical reaction of students from the academic works or tasks.
Good day, everyone. I am Marie-Claire M. Serrano from Group 3, and I am presenting the related literature in our research. Our study talks about the gender differences on academic stress. According to Dr. Dahl and Coleman 2015, academic stress refers to the unpleasant psychological situations that occur due to the educational expectations from parents, teachers, peers, and family members, and among others. Another study from Lazarus and Folkman 1984 suggested that it is how the individual appraises the situations that influences their perceptions of stress. According to Carr 2014, acknowledged that mental health of teenagers get affected due to the academic stress. Girls with academic stress were found to have poor mental health as compared to boys. According to Hamide 2010, there were statistical differences between male and female students regarding their perceptions and reactions to stressors. Female students reported a higher perceptions of stressors in frustration, conflict, pressures, and changes, as well as emotional reactions to stressors. Male students reported higher behavioral and cognitive reactions to stressors than female students. And for the last study, according to Mizra et al. 2003, females generally have more of a desire to compete, to be noticed and loved, and to seek perfect solutions. These characteristics may lead to a higher level of anxiety and stress for them in comparison to males. In conclusion, this study offers and determines the gender differences in academic stress. Stress is an unavoidable phenomenon in every aspect of students' life.
Good day everyone, this is Stephanie Perdigas from the Group 3 presenting the related studies of our research. The findings in the study of Madyasta et al. 2014 shows that female students has more academic performance stress. Among coping strategies, support seeking was more in females, while humor, a positive emotion-focused strategy, self-blame, and a maladaptive strategy was used more by males. Another study by Calaguas 2011 that focused on the differences along gender lines in academic stress showed that generally no specific difference was found between male and female respondents in the perception of their academic stressors. However, basing on the mean scores, female respondents scored higher compared to male respondents. In relation, Bossari AO12 found in their study that based on their mean scores, male respondents scored higher in physiological and cognitive components, while female respondents scored higher in emotional and behavioral response to academic stressors. Another study by Underman L. and Midgley C. 1997 is that according to their analysis, female adolescents are found to be under more academic stress than male adolescents. This may be due to the fact that females are sensitive and sincere by nature, and take everything very seriously, whereas males are generally more easygoing and happy-go-lucky. Lastly is the study of Cheng K 2009. Based on their mean scores, the male respondents scored higher on 4 out of the 8 identified components of academic stress, and these were on stressors related to enrollment and admissions, subjects, classmates, and schedules. On the other hand, female respondents scored higher on 4 out of the 8 identified components of academic stress, and these were on stressors related to teachers, classrooms, finances, and expectations.
Research design. This study will make use of comparative design to identify similarities and differences between gender differences towards academic stress of senior high school students. This is to associate the different causes of stress between both gender. Lewis M. Bryman A. and Liao T. 2004. Next is research local. This study will be conducted at University of Cebu Main Campus Senior High School Department, located at J. Alcantara Street, Barangay Sambag 1, Cebu City. The department offers academic track Science Technology, Mechanics and Engineering strand, Humanities and Social Science strand, Accounting and Business Management strand, and General Academic strand, Technological Vocational track, Cookery, Travel Service and Computer System Servicing strand, and Arts and Design. The university vision is to democratize quality education, to be visionary and industry leader, and to give hope and transform lives. Next is research respondent. The researchers will choose the grade 12 students of University of Cebu Private Main Campus. As the respondent of the study, the researchers choose grade 12 students because they are the best fitted respondents, since the researchers belong to this grade knows that graduating students are experiencing academic stress. Grade 11 students will not be selected since this will be their first semester and they may not be able to provide substantial data. To get the sample size, the researchers refers to GAI 1976 guidelines of needed number of respondents. First, the researchers selected respondents from strands. Then in the selected strands, samples are chosen from grade 12 students. Finally, samples are chosen by gender, 15 male and 15 female. Sample size as small as 30 are generally adequate to ensure that the sampling distribution of the mean will approximate the normal curve.
Research instrument. The researchers utilized standard questionnaires in the gathering data. The questionnaires was divided into 2 parts: academic stress and the profile. To measure the frequency level of academic stress of male and female students, the researchers used the constructed questionnaire of Lin and Chan of 2009. This research used the Likert 5-point scale, ranging from 5 completely agree, to 1 completely disagree. There are 7 factors for this. It is including the teacher stress, result stress, test stress, studying in group stress, peer stress, time management stress, and self-inflicted stress. The higher the points for each factor, the higher is the degree of stress produced by this factor. The total variance explained in this inventory was 70.91%. The Cronbach reliability test was carried out and the A value contained was between 0.85 to 0.92. A value of the overall academic stress questionnaire was 0.90. This research used the K-Parsons correlation analysis to obtain the significant level of related coefficients of various factor, components, and total. The questionnaire used is related to academic stress and has confirmed the validity and reliability of requirements.
The data gathering of this study. Before the researchers started the study, transmittal letter was written and was sent to the principal to be approved. After approval, the researchers determined the participants needed in the study. Since it will be conducted online, the researchers chooses the participants carefully. The respondents is at least 186 participants that the researchers has gained. In order to conduct a survey, the researchers wrote a letter of consent. After it was approved, the researchers explained the purpose of the study. The researchers collected the data by means of online survey questionnaires. After collecting the data, the researchers then start interpreting and analyze the data gathered from the participants. The results from the analyzation of the data is now used by researchers as part of information for the research provided.
The Table 1.6 level of time management stress of the male students presents the male students' level of stress in time management. It shows that a weighted mean of 4.1 and an overall standard deviation of 0.72. This means that the level of stress in time managing is very high. These students have a hard time in managing their activities and unable to adjust their time schedule effectively. The Table 1.7 level of self-inflicted stress of the male students, it reveals that the overall self-inflicted stress of male students is very high with a weighted mean of 3.8 and an overall standard deviation of 7.32. The table also tells that male students have low motivation and are not determined and confident when it comes to activities. The Table 2.1 Level of Teacher Stress of the Female Students shows the overall level of stress of the female students is very high with a weighted mean of 3.42 and overall standard deviation of 0.51. Furthermore, the Table 2.1 shows that the female students feel more stress due to some of the teachers and are terrors and give a lot of work and activities. Table 2.2 Level of Result Stress of the female students shows the overall level of result stress of the female students is very high with a weighted mean of 3.05 and overall standard deviation of 0.74. Moreover, Table 2.2 shows how female students is put under a lot of stress and terrified on what will be the results on her taken test. Female students are worried especially if they would get a low results after they taken the test. Even they answered it properly, they will anxious on what is the result is. The Table 2.3 Level of Test Stress of the female students shows that the overall level of test stress students is very high with a weighted mean of 3.57 and overall standard deviation of 0.99. This only means that the female students feel more stressed when there is upcoming tests. However, it also shows that the female students prepares for tests in school. The Table 2.4 Level of Studying in Group Stress of the female students shows that overall level of studying in group stress of the female students is very high with a weighted mean of 4.13 and the standard deviation of 0.49. Moreover, the Table 2.4 shows that the female students feels highly stressed if they are in or part of the specific group. The female students are conscious, pressured, and worried as to how they will fit in the group.
Table 1.1 presents the level of teacher stress of the male students. It shows that the overall level of teacher stress of the male students is very high, with a weighted mean of 3.79 and a standard deviation of 0.71. Additionally, the statement, "I feel that I do not understand a lot of some teachers' teaching content," has the highest mean of 3.93 and a standard deviation of 0.8010. Moreover, the Table 1.1 shows that the teachers feel stress of the female students if the male students don't understand the teaching contents. While in Table 1.2 presents the level of results stress of the male students. It tells us that the overall results stress of the male students is very high with a weighted mean of 3.73 and an overall standard deviation of 0.80. Moreover, the table also presents that a statement, "I feel that my parents think that I'm not serious with my studies," with the highest mean of 4.20 and a standard deviation of 0.94. On the contrary, the statement, "I feel that there is a vast difference my current results and high school results," has the lowest mean of 3.27 and a standard deviation of 1.44. Furthermore, Table 1.2 additionally tell about how a male student stress affects their grades and the way their parents may think about the attitude towards their studies. This implies that male student stress shows them down in terms of their academic activities, which results to lower results, and it may look like they're always tired and not interested. In Table 1.3, it presents the level of test stress of the male students. It shows that the male students' overall test stress is very high with a weighted mean of 3.98 and an overall standard deviation of 0.85. Additionally, the table also shows that the statement, "I stay up late before all the big and small school tests, and I do not get good enough sleep at night because I worry about the school tests," has the same highest mean of 4.0 and a standard deviation of 0.85. On the one hand, the statement, "I feel that the test in class content some subjects and variable, which causes me to be unable to prepare adequately," has the lowest mean of 3.93 and a standard deviation of 1.9. In addition to the statements, Table 1.3 further tell about male students who constantly stay up late every night before any test and their uneasiness of not being prepared about the test. This indicates that male students experience anxiety before an exam or test, which make them uneasy and hard to fall asleep. When you're anxious and you're studying late at night, you will likely lack of sleep. This will result in inability to concentrate and recall information, then contributes to even more anxiety and stress, which only makes it that much harder to focus on their attention on the test. In the fourth table, Table 1.4, it presents male students' level of stress studying in groups. It reveals that the overall stress of male students studying in groups is very high, with a weighted mean of 3.88 and overall standard deviation of 0.81. The table also reveals that the statement, "Sometimes the words used by my classes easily hurt my feelings, my self-esteem, or cause harm," has the highest mean of 4.0 and a high overall standard of 0.93. Contrastingly, the statement, "When the group work requires to complete an exercise or report, I worry that I will not be able to find a suitable group member," has the lowest mean of 3.73 and a overall standard deviation of 1.16. Furthermore, the table reveals that male students are having a hard time working and communicating with fellow students in their class. This means that male students don't even have much self-esteem to communicate with others. Students that don't have much self-esteem and can't connect with their fellow students often fall out and have a hard time learning. On our fifth table, Table 1.5 presents that male students' level of peer stress. It shows that the overall peer stress of male students is very high, with a weighted mean of 3.82 and an overall standard deviation of 0.90. As what the table shows through the statement of, I feel that my classmates are very noisy during class, and this influences my class situation, has the highest mean of 4.20 and a standard deviation of 0.77. Moreover, Table 1.5 revealed that peer stress has effect on males.
So the table 2.4 presents the level of studying in group stress in female students. So in the table 2.4, it is shown there that it has an overall level of studying in group stress of female students is very high, with a weighted mean of 4.13 and a standard deviation of 0.49. And in the first statement in the table, it has the highest mean of 4.60 and a standard deviation of 0.74. And the statement there is I feel nervous when I need to make a speech or give a presentation, while the lowest mean is in the last statement, which is I often face problems as to how to share work with my classmates when some exercises or reports require group work. So it is shown there that it has a lowest mean of 3.73 and a standard deviation of 1.03. It is also shown there that it means that the female students are conscious or pressured when studying in groups. So not all individuals were able to have a good studying in groups. Some of them experience stress when in grouping. So that is what the table 2.4 is all about. So we move to the next table, which is the table 2.5. In the table 2.5, it shows that the level of peer stress of the female students. So in here, the table has the overall weighted mean of 3.61 and an overall standard deviation of 0.61. So in the first statement, it has the highest mean, which is the 4.13 and a standard deviation of 0.83. And the statement there is, I am worried that my academic results are not as good as those of my classmates are. While the last statement, which is, I feel that my classmates are very noisy during class and this influences my class situations, has the lowest mean of 2.87 and a standard deviation of 1.13. So that only means that the academic performance of students is affected depending around her peers. So in the next table, which is the table 2.6, it shows the level of time management stress of the female students. Not all students were able to manage their time properly, so it has been a factor that affects academic performance of a student, and that causes to stress. So in the table there, it has the overall weighted mean of 3.84 and an overall standard deviation of 0.66. In the first statement, which is I feel that I am not able to adjust and schedule the time between academic and social activities effectively. So it has the highest mean of 4.13 and a standard deviation of 0.83. While the last statement, which is I feel that the social activities and student association affect my academic work, has the lowest mean, which is 3.60 and a standard deviation of 0.91. So with this table, it is clearly shown that not all female students were able to have their time management properly. So it affects their performances. So the next table, which is the table 2.7, it is about the level of self-inflicted stress of the female students. So this table computes the self-inflicted stress of female students. So it has a overall weighted mean of 3.82 and a standard deviation of 0.99. So the first statement has the highest mean, which is the statement is, I feel that my learning level is not good as that of my classmates. So it has the highest mean, which is the 4.13 and a standard deviation of 0.74. So the last statement, which is, I feel that after I entered university, my performance was not as good as I had expected. So it has the lowest mean of 3.53 and a standard deviation of 1.50. So it only shows, or it only means that the female students are more worried about their grades, and with those anxiety about academic grades, academic performance, it clearly leads to stress. So females are more like grade conscious. They worried about getting higher grades than males. So the last table, which is the table 3, it presents the gender differences in academic stress. So it will be shown there whether the female and male differ in academic stress level. So as we can see there on the table, the mean is 3.90 and the standard deviation is 0.68. So the female scored higher than male students, which has a mean of 3.59 and a standard deviation of 0.55. As for the male, the mean is 3.90 and for the female is 3.59 with 0.001 p-value. So the table shows that there is 0.05 level of significance, and with that level of significance, the null hypothesis is rejected since it is 0.05. And that only means that there is a significant comparative relationship to both females and males in academic stress.
This study revealed the following findings. There is only a little significance difference of gender differences in academic stress. Male students are a little more academically stressed than female students. Lastly, students are academically stressed. Based on the findings, the following conclusions were drawn. Number 1, there are differences between male students' stress level and female students' stress level. Number 2, the level of stress of male students varies on the factor, while female students are most likely stressed on most of the factors. Number 3, the more students get pressured by the academic performances, the more they are stressed. And 4, male and female student stress can be differentiated. Based on the result of the study, the following are recommended by the researchers. Number 1, school administrators can conduct a program to cope a problem with academic stress. They can make an activity that everyone will enjoy and have some break. Number 2, guidance counselor also can make a program on how to avoid academic stress. And lastly, parents should also guide their sons and daughters and give them support.